Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for this week's edition of our Grow My Business webinar. Can everyone hear me? You can just use the chat box to kind of indicate that you can hear me. Sound is fine. Okay, great. Okay, cool. So if you've been joining us for the past 6 weeks, I'm sure that you already know the full gist of what this is. But if this is your first time, welcome to the Grow My Business webinar. This is a webinar series or a series of activities that we have set up at Flutterwave to help businesses survive the crisis, the current pandemic, and also to survive post-pandemic as well. So we've done editions of this where we have been talking to experts in different fields about how to survive the pandemic as a business owner, tips for thriving during the pandemic as well, how to be thinking about your marketing. And we've had speakers from South Africa, we've had speakers from Google, and now we have the honor of having Charles Odii here with us today. He is the founder of SME 100 Africa. So I'm just going to set some ground rules as well. For people who don't know what Flutterwave is or what we do, Flutterwave is a payments technology company. We basically help businesses and individuals to receive payments from customers anywhere in the world. So we have a business solution called Flutterwave as well, and it allows businesses to be able to receive payments either on your website, on an app, in person, and also as like freelancers. We have an invoicing feature. We have a lot of features available. So right now we have Zainab. She is a vertical lead in our growth team, and she leads our small medium business vertical. And she is going to also, Charles is here now. Hello, Charles. Thank you for joining us.
Hi.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay,
Can you see me?
Yes, we can see you.
Okay, you're right.
Okay, great. So sorry, everybody. I think we can kick off. Charles, are you ready to kind of go through your presentation?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So some ground rules. As you people already know, probably you can send your questions into the Q&A section. We're going to go through Charles's presentation first, and then we're going to have Zainab next, and then we'll have a general Q&A section. So you can write your questions down just so you don't forget, and then we'll address them during our Q&A. I'm going to pass it on to Charles now.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to use this opportunity to say thank you to the guys at Flutterwave. And I'm hoping that by the end of this session, we will have an amazing time, and we can now connect afterwards to see how best we can help your businesses in terms of Flutterwave, in terms of payment, and we in terms of capacity development and everything else. My name is Charles Odii. I work for this organization called SME 100 Africa. SME 100 Africa is a social enterprise set up so that every young entrepreneur who is starting a business in Africa succeeds. And we do this, with 5 basic business requirements. The first is access to finance. We help with a lot of financial literacy, and we advise some of our small businesses on how best to get financing. The next is access to market. We are the guys who can help you break into new markets, and we're the guys who organize different other sessions that you can use to access new markets. Capacity development is the third one. We were very big on training. We're training week in, week out in small groups and large groups. And we also help with a lot of mentoring. So inevitably, you will need to stand on the shoulders of those who have done businesses before over 10 years and above, and we can help connect you with some of those. And networks, we're the guys who have an amazing group of young people who have started businesses, mentors, and of course corporates, and we can put you in touch with some of them as the need be. Okay, so it says that I am SM100 Africa. I sit on a few boards. We are the guys who started the Nigeria's Under 25 Awards. It's basically just to make sure that young people, despite the challenge they go through, we choose the guys who are excelling, and we try to use them as spotlight to other young people to say, despite the fact that there are no road networks in Nigeria, no infrastructure, lack of financing, these other people are doing amazing, amazing things. And we think that you should be a part of them as well. But the guys who do the Lagos Small Business Summit, it's a non-partisan group think tank where we advocate for policies that affect small businesses in Lagos. So today, we're going to be talking about identifying and reaching your target market, right? I don't know how much time I have. Can you just advise me on how much time I have, Yewande, for the presentation?
I think it's about 20 minutes.
So just, okay.
Yeah, does 20 minutes work for you? Is that fine?
Say that again?
20 minutes, is that fine?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
Okay. So today we're going to be talking about, identifying and reaching your target market. So in my experience working with small businesses, we've been doing this for like half a decade. And the major problem small businesses are experiencing right now is actually identifying a group of persons who actually need the product or service they're offering, who can afford it, and who can pay for it at this point in time. And if I do a prop quiz now to say why do small businesses fail, I'm sure a couple of you will say financing, some of you will say or lack of capital, others will say mentors, the Nigerian environment. But summing all that together, you will find out that if you do an interview with all of these people who are answering the questions, you will know that they haven't uniquely identified the people who can afford what it is that they're offering, who actually is in need of what they need and can pay for it right now. So I'll give you a story. Sometime about 3 years ago, I was training a couple of people in Owerri, and then there was this lady who was in the food business, and she had come out to say, and we're trying to help them identify target markets, and she had come out to say, we asked her, so who do you think your target market is? And she said, you know what, we're over 200 million people in Nigeria, so over 200 million people in Nigeria will eat our food. And it took the grace of God to be able to convince this woman that the fact that over 2 million Nigerians exist in Nigeria do not mean that all the 200 million Nigerians are your target market. And then, so what I put in this slide is just to help you understand what it is that makes small businesses fail. And I think that one of the greatest problems that actually contribute to the failure of small businesses is the lack of market. That lack of market fit is very, very, very essential. So this is the roadmap. We are going to define your target market. We are going to help you understand them. And it's only when you understand them that you can discover how these people can be reached. And then you try to engage them again and again and again. But by the time when you're engaging them again and again, you are in step 4, you've cultivated or formed a tribe. And in step 3, you're trying to get to be liked. In step 2, you're trying to get people to know you, right? So all of these things will run through in the next, I think, 18 minutes or so. So the next slide is in step 1, defining your target market. Remember what I said that, not everyone is your target market, but more importantly, the reason why we need to identify our target market is because we don't have the big budgets like the Coca-Colas and the MTNs of this world, and the Nestle and the Cadbury's. Those guys have a large budget, and they can play around a couple of things. But we as small business owners, we are usually running our businesses on a shoestring budget, and then it is important that we know the people we're talking to at this particular time, right? For some people, they set up stores, they set up shops out there. And, they say to me, oh, in as much as I've set up this shop, someone, for instance, I can go to a new local government or I go to a new street and I'm in need of food, right? So for instance, if I go to Abuja, right, and I visit a new office, I may need to eat, right? And then I walk into a restaurant to try to get some food to eat. In as much as I'm patronizing that restaurant, I am uniquely not the target market for that restaurant. Do you understand? The fact that I can go somewhere and buy from you do not necessarily mean that every day I'm your everyday customer. So what we're trying to do is identify the people who actually, remember what I said, who can afford what you have, who actually have a need for the thing that you need, who can afford it right now, and who's ready to part away with money at this instant. Now, I don't know how many of us are Christians, but the Holy Book, I'm a Christian, and the Holy Book in Mark chapter 16, verse 17, I think they were asking Jesus Christ to say, oh dear Lord, what are the signs that will follow those that believe? And he says, by these signs you shall know them. When you see them, they're speaking in new tongues. If they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. And they pick up serpents, it shall not hurt them. So that is a defined target market. That's what Jesus Christ was trying to tell those people at the time. That if you're looking out for this, if you're looking out for my believers, this is how you identify them, right? So if I come to you today and I say to Dikachim Wanko, I say, Dikachim, I'm sending someone to your house, right? Dikachim, the person I'm sending to your house is going to come by 10 o'clock and he's going to have a red face cap on, he's going to wear a white t-shirt, a blue pair of jeans and white sneakers. So Dikachim at that time understands that the person who is coming to him is described like this. So Dikachim will be looking out for that kind of person. And that is exactly what we should be doing for our target market in terms of small businesses. There are a couple of people who we should actually be advertising to at every certain time, right? And those are the people that are our target market. If we identify them as our target market, those are the people that are our target market, right? So in as much as, let's use Flutterwave for instance. Flutterwave is a payment, it helps to facilitate payments, right? Flutterwave actually at every given time or at a certain time should be talking to a certain amount of persons. And if you ask me, I think this amount of persons are the people who are like starting businesses or individuals who are upwardly mobile, who have like smartphones and who are able to, who want to make transactions at that time, right? That's a certain amount of the 200 million people in Nigeria. Let's say we'll take Nigeria as an instance, for instance, right? That does not mean that an old man tomorrow who's in his 60s, who is really traditional, who usually write checks, cannot say he won't transact with Flutterwave like when he needs to, or if someone just brings him up to speed on how to use Flutterwave payments, right? That's not to say he can't do that, but ordinarily that is not Flutterwave's target market. Do you understand? I hope that I'm communicating. Okay.
Yes,
Oh, right. Dante says we understand. Oh, someone says yes. So, where two or three are gathered, we can move on. Okay, so the first slide says define your target market. So what do you need? So what need does a product or service identify? So let's take the product for instance. What need is that product or service meeting? Is it in the beauty industry? Is it in logistics? Is it makeup? Is it just a feel-good brand? Because I know that these days some people just want to buy some things to feel good, right? But what need? Let's look at the product and the service. We're trying to define the target market. What need is this product or service meeting, right? I met someone one time in I think it was in Abuja. We were training, right? And the guy said that he wanted to, his business, he wanted to, what's it called? He wanted to start importing 4 jackets, chinchilla jackets, right? I don't know how many of us know those 4 jackets, the type that them 50 Cent and Jaru wear in their music videos. Those jackets that they look good, but they look like they're thick, that 4 jackets. And that business in Nigeria it's dead on arrival, right? Do you get? Because the need that business will actually be meeting in Nigeria is very slim, very, 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 very slim. Because we don't have snow here, and our weather is really, really hot. So you hardly find people wearing those jackets, those kind of chinchilla jackets, those kind of hot jackets in this part of the world because of our climate and because of our region here. So we need to actually ask. So that guy, I asked him, so who's going to buy from you? And he says, artists and people. And I'm like, is that enough to actually start a business? So we got talking, and of course I was able to talk him out of it, right? So I was saying to you that you need to actually understand what need is this business meeting at this time. At SME 100 Africa, the need that you're meeting for businesses basically is helping them to thrive, helping to train their employees. Either the CEO or the employees can come for a training. At least they get 4 trainings in a year. They get to get discount on business and lifestyle services. They come for all our events for free. Those are needs that small businesses have, because sometimes this entrepreneurial journey can be lonely and you need to bounce ideas off people. You need someone to actually look at your strategy. You need someone to actually even, just talk to. And that's why we set up SM 100 Africa. So for you who's in the makeup industry, for you who's selling hair, for you who's selling services, try to understand what is that need that business is meeting. And you need to keep asking yourself again and again and again, because those needs sometimes, it's a journey. They actually transform from time to time. So right now, especially in this COVID-19 period, the need, customers are at home, they're evaluating every need for every product, right? So a customer, for instance, who has 200,000 naira, who will ideally come and buy your makeup product, or who actually patronize a travel agent, or who will use a logistic company, is not asking themselves. They're evaluating their need for products and services. As the customers are evaluating their need for products and services, so should we, the product and service owner or designer, to start to evaluate the need, right, for some of those products. Number 2, like I said, so when we understand the need and who needs this product, then we now look at the people who need them, right? I know a company, for instance, who was supplying products for only women. I know some who are doing for mothers. I know some who are doing for students, right? There's actually a company in Yaba who is actually just employing students as cleaners. So those who want weekend jobs, they employ them and then deploy them around Lagos to go and clean. So you need to actually know who is going to buy this thing at a certain time. Are they students? Are they women? Are they mothers? Are they upwardly mobile people? Are they urban people? Then who can afford this product and service? Now we need to understand that the fact that I like the product and the product meets my need does not mean that I can afford it. That's one. And 2, the fact that I can afford it does not mean that I can pay for it right now, right? Right now, I have some money in my bank account, right? I can afford a lot of things, but can I pay for it right now? That's a different matter. Can I pay for it? Can I count that 10,000 naira? Can I count that 50,000 naira to pay for a couple of things that I usually would pay for before? That's a different conversation entirely. So the fact that the people have it and the fact that they can pay for it right now. And I was talking to somebody in the real estate industry, and it's like, you know what, Charles, you have a lot of high net worth individual friends. Just introduce me to them, And I said to him that the fact that these high net worth individuals have 50 million naira in their account, 70 million naira in their account, does not mean that they can pay for a piece of real estate right now. Do you understand? And so, also, how can they access the products? So accessibility of the product sometimes could be online, sometimes could just be like a brick and mortar store. Other times, can be via your social media presence or your website, etc., etc. So I said in this first slide, in answering all these questions, we will also have to look at some things like the age, gender, location, income brand, try to understand these things. And I say to you, like, if you can just take a small group of persons, there are 200 million Nigerians, we agree. But if you can even take just maybe like 300 people, and these 300 people are paying you money on a constant basis, you are in business already. I have someone in our community who has just one customer. And that one customer is all he needed to start business, and that's all he has been doing, just servicing that one customer, right? And so I say to you that if you have just a few persons that you've identified that these are the people who can pay for your product right now, who have a need for it, and who can afford it, this, even if they're like 100, then you can actually start to service these people based on your business model. And that's a different conversation that we can have, identifying and, better establishing a business model. And I hope that Zainab can help us can let us take that in a subsequent class. If not, I can just send you some links on how to actually design a business model that works for you right now. So in your business model, you look at pricing. So let's take for instance Mercedes and Toyota. If Mercedes wants to reach like ₦1 million, for instance, or $1 million, all they need to do is just probably sell one product, right? But for like a Toyota, if they want to reach that $1 million or $1 million, they might need to sell 10 products, right? At the end of the day, both companies will get there. Both companies will get there at the end of the day. They'll get to the $1 million, $1 million mark, but they come with different pricing strategy. So one is either they're selling to a large amount of persons, they're selling a premium product to a few persons, or you're selling mass product to a large amount of persons. One without the other spells for disaster. Either you're going, let's use the Toyota model now. Either you're going the Toyota model or you're going the Mercedes-Benz model. At the end of the day, you both all get to the $1 million. But how do you get there is the model that you have to look at and adapt for your organization. So we go to the next slide, which is an example that I was trying to give. So I try to answer the questions that I put out there, right? So the example is a craze map, right? We can liken this to, organizations. I didn't want to use anyone in particular. It can be like your Nolly Juice or your Ebano grocery store, or it can be your top. There's a lady called the top market woman. You can liken this to her. And so in answering the first question that I put out there, what product or service does your customer need, right? So for this woman that I put here, if we ask her, the need that she's providing, right, is convenience. This clothes mart is the online grocery store. In as much as she's selling food, and people need to eat, and people need to stay healthy, whether the food is healthy or not, people just need to eat to stay alive. But in as much as she's providing food, one of the important things that she's actually doing, one of the needs that she's actually meeting out is convenience, right? She's giving people, the answer here is she provides a convenient way for individuals to buy a grocery product and have it delivered to their doorstep. So that in itself is a need. Convenience is a need. There are a couple of people who would, especially right now, a lot of people are not stepping out of their house for any reason, right? They will actually have you deliver it to their doorstep. I know my neighbor who actually has them delivered to her doorstep. When the products come to her doorstep, she will leave it in the sun for a certain amount of time, take out of the nylon, wash it, and now take it into her house. She's not stepping out for any reason. So convenience is another need that needs to be met. It's a secondary need. Primarily, you're delivering food, but secondary need is convenience. So who are the individuals that are in need of this? So the individuals in need of this is the second question that we're trying to answer. People with busy schedules, right? Primarily women, individuals. And right now in this period, people who are in need of this kind of service would be basically anyone who can afford it and do not want to actually leave their house because of the global pandemic. So who are the people that can afford it? Basically medium to high income earners who don't mind paying a little premium for their groceries to be delivered. Now this comes back to what I was trying to say. There are a couple of people who can afford it, but those people might not be necessarily willing to part with a premium to have it delivered. So they can afford it and they'll go pick it up themselves, right? Then who can access the products? Yeah, people in urban cities who are comfortable with online purchases, individuals who are formally banked and can make online payments. So the sixth slide, right? So we're going to analyze Chloe's results. Sixth slide, please. Yeah, thank you. So we're going to analyze Chloe's results, right? Oh, no. Sixth slide. Chloe's results. Yes, thank you. So if you look at Chloe's demographic, right? We said there are women who can afford it. So we will now try to dissect this demographic so that we can narrow down to a particular amount of persons. And why are we trying to narrow down to this amount of persons? Because of our budget. Because we don't have the large monies, like I said, like the Coca-Colas and the likes in this world. So we need to actually now narrow down our marketing so that our graphics guys can actually put out information that address this set of people. So we say, what's the age and occupation of these people? So we say that within the age of 25 to 40, these are working class people, these are business owners with busy schedules. They say, okay, what is their gender? They say they are women, they are most likely in charge of their household purchases. Where do they stay? They stay in urban cities. These are women who are actually going to need this product, because we think that, my understanding is that the women who are in the rural areas, the farmers, usually will not even have the mobile technology or online platform to access the Chloe's mini mart. And so we're saying these are urban, upwardly mobile people, and their income band is within medium to high income earning group. So they're willing to pay a little premium. And so if you identify your target market like this and you break it down, you'll be able to know who exactly to market to at different times. And I give you an instance. So for instance, we have in SME 100 Africa, we have different target market. In as much as we're trying to reach out to young entrepreneurs to make sure that they succeed, we've also actually broken down this into different demographics. We have an organization just centered around women, because we think that talking to women, you have to use different other kind of marketing terms. So we have something called 100 Women. We have something just for people under the age of 25. We have this award, and then we know that everything that we're doing, in terms of communication, is get to these young entrepreneurs who are just actually starting out for the first time, who have just left school, who are actually even thinking how to perfect their business model. So our communication in that group is different from the communication that we will probably use in the larger SM100 Africa community. We also even have a younger one for the teenagers. For instance, we have something called the 100 clubs, and then we go to different secondary schools before now, and we're teaching them about starting early, about entrepreneurship. And the lingua, the marketing communication we use at those levels are actually different from the ones we use for those who are under 25. It's actually even different from the ones that we use for women, for the women group, and for the SM100 Africa community at large. And this is how we broke down. It's because we understood this kind of demographic that we're able to break it down to these people. And I know that if we just combine everything, the teenagers, the under 25s, and the elderly ones who are above 30, above 40 on our platform, we will actually not be talking to anybody at every time, right? So we will actually lose a couple of people, like especially the teenagers. And those who actually deal with teenagers understand that that market is a very, very, very defined market. Those teenagers are snobs. If you say anything that they cannot relate to, if you say anything that that their peers do not relate to, they will just move past it quickly. So you have to actually craft your marketing around your different target market, but you need to understand the demographics for who it is that you're talking to, who they are, where they are located, how much they earn, and then this will help you better understand your target market. So we're going to move on to step 2. I think I have to actually speed up, press for time. We're going to move on to step 2 right now, which is understanding your target market, right? This is the 7th slide out of 13. Understand your target market. So if you understand your target market, where does my target market source information? What is most important to my target market? Where are they making a purchasing decision? What kind of language and strategies can I use to connect to them? Does my product fit into their market lifestyle? These are the kind of questions you need to actually ask to understand this person. And I'll tell you a story. There was a real estate company it's a very popular real estate company in Lagos. They were trying to sell a piece of real estate, right? And this piece of real estate was premium. It was about, I think at the time, it was about 2 billion naira. They were trying to sell a warehouse I don't know how many of you know the Oregon area. You know, it was a family. They were trying to sell a piece of real estate for about 2 billion naira. And before they met me, before I advised them, these guys every week they were in castles. I don't know how many of us know castles, the real estate magazine, right? This is not to downgrade or disregard castles, you know, but they were advertising in castles every week in, week out, they were in castles, you know, and they were putting their 2 billion naira real estate property on castles, advertising it every day. And so when they met me and we were trying to understand what it is they were doing before I advised their team. I said to them that the people who have 2 billion naira, are they reading castles? They were looking at me like, what do I mean? I'm like, okay, so let's try and understand what the people who can drop 2 billion naira for a property right now. And we try to narrow down maybe people in the 1% of the 1%, or people in government, people in corporate, you know, and I try to say to them, like, okay, let's say it's the Tony Lumelus and the Jimobias of this world. You think that the Tony Lumelus and the Jimobias and the Herbert Wigways, you know, are they reading castles? Did they buy castles on a daily basis to read castles to know that your product, your 2 billion naira product is available? And they're like, oh, wow, what do you think? I say, okay, let us try something. Let us take this property. Let us go to the national dailies, because I know that these guys actually buy Forbes Africa. They buy Africa.com publications. They subscribe to Harvard Business Review publications. They buy Business Day, Punch, Guardian, and all of these things. Let us take this. Let's take half a page for a period of 3 weeks to a month. Let us advertise twice in a week on these national dailies, this 2 billion naira property. And guess what, guys? I think in 8 weeks, the property was sold. They got a good offer, they negotiated, and they sold the property. So that's what I was trying to say here in understanding your target market, right? The fact that you now know you have a good product. A good product doesn't always sell itself. A good product doesn't always sell itself. Sometimes you need to actually understand who it is that you're talking to. Where are they sourcing information? So if you're trying to get to those high net worth individuals, many of them most times are not even on social media, right? Many of them most times are not on social media. So if you have that kind of fantastic product, you can be on social media from today to tomorrow. The likelihood of those guys who you're trying to target might not actually even see the product or service for a very, very long time. So if you understand the demographics of these people, then you can understand where they source for information, right? But if you're trying to, in real estate, for instance, if you're trying to get people to buy your product if you're trying to target people who are trying to move houses, you know, people who are looking for how they got a job on the island, people who are looking for houses to move to, people who are just starting families. Of course, Castle is a fantastic publication for that, right? And then sometimes you can go online, right? So I said here, understand your target market, understand where they source information, what is most important to your target market when they are making a pricing decision. I need to understand that some people will actually not even buy your product because of the price. So some of them will just look at it like, you know, this thing is too good to be true, and they just leave it, right? Some people will just say, oh, okay, this price is fantastic for me, I'm going to buy it, I can afford it. So some people, in making a informed decision, they look at the pricing, they look at the quality, they look at customer service, they look at convenience. And for customer service, you have to, that's a different conversation, that's a different talk, you know, another time. I was talking to a small business owner. I remember my friend one time visited from New York, right, in December, and he came one night, I think it was the night before Christmas, he came and we were trying to buy shawarma. So we went on this shawarma company to say, please, are you guys opened? Right? We're hungry that night. We're driving around Lagos. We'll just come out for one of these shows. I can't remember which now. Guess what? This guy, this small business owner, did not reply that, are you guys open and how much is shawarma? From December 24th, we were getting a response on the 5th of January when the guy didn't come back to Nigeria. You know, so we need to, as small business owners, you know, take some of these things into consideration, especially if we're using a platform like social media and Instagram. We need to make sure that there are people real-time online ready to attend to inquiries. Some people will just shut down. If they ask you a question for like a day and you don't respond, they'll just say these ones are not serious and they move on, especially if it's a working day. So what kind of language or strategies can you use to connect to your target market? Those in the high net worth individuals, some of them will not like you, marketing with shorthand. Some of them would, actually like you to spell it out. And, your marketing ad has to, speak everything that it's saying. And where does my market fit into their lifestyle? So for instance, if you're trying to connect to millennials, going on newspaper can actually even be a not so wise option. So someone like me, for instance, I can't remember the last time I bought newspaper that I wasn't particularly looking for something therein. I subscribed to Business Day on my phone. I source for news on Twitter. I follow the online platforms. So online is a very fantastic way to meet me. So that's my lifestyle. I wake up in the morning. I want to know what's happening. I go on Twitter. I follow the news. I look at the news leaks, the news feeds on the platforms that I follow, the news platforms, and that's how I source for information. So that would be a very, very, very good way to reach out to someone like me, rather than put it on the newspaper, especially if those ads are not translated online. And sometimes you might actually need to have an existing, you actually have an existing base or survey, or you need to conduct a survey of a focus group, a close focus group discussion to answer some of these questions. I remember a public relation and advertising company, when they started, they were actually spending a lot of money trying to get businesses from the banks, trying to get businesses from the corporates and multinationals. And then one time when I met with them, I said to them, okay, let us see what you're doing. And then I asked them to show me their customer base. They showed me the customer base. And lo and behold, I found out that the people who have been patronizing these small businesses before are small business owners, small and medium scale business owners. But these guys were spending all their money, sending proposals, going for meetings to the multinationals. I'm not going to mention names. And I said to them, like, guys, you already have a customer base here. In as much as they're trying to reach some other guys, your existing customer base, the people who call you to help them with their social media paid management and all of those, are small business owners. How about you call stop wasting money trying to reach out to the big guys and focus on this target market that is existing already, which is the small business owners and the company was actually making a lot of money at the time. I think they were making millions of naira, right? So sometimes you're spending money trying to say, oh, I want to become a vendor for Access Bank. I want to become a vendor for UBA. I want to become a vendor for GT Bank. Meanwhile, the people who are actually calling you for your products and services are not those kind of guys. The people who are actually calling you are small business owners. So that's actually your target market. So I'm going to have to rush this real quick so that we can take some questions. So slide 8, you can see this. You can see the results there that we try to analyze. Real quick, slide 9, step 3, discover how to reach them. So, you can actually now, with that demographic, understand where your customers are if they're online, and then look for how to reach them. So sometimes I say to a lot of business owners who come and say, oh, I want new customers, Right, there's a presentation after me, so I'm gonna have to let this go now. So some people come to me and say, oh, I want new customers, and I say to them, what have you done with your customers that you have? First of all, the customers that you reached out to, the people who have paid you a certain amount of money for a product or a service and are certified, those people are the ambassadors for your brand. So I also say to people, rich people have rich friends, smart people have smart friends. You can start a referral program to say, hey, this guy who has bought from me, I'll give him a discount on his next purchase if you can give me 5 referrals. So you can start a referral program. You understand what media channels you need to reach out to these guys. Then you understand keywords that you can use in targeting these guys. My next slide is 10 quick wins for reaching your target market, leveraging social media, be consistent with the communication, reward loyal customers, reward customers for feedback, make it easy for them to find you, measure the impact on every campaign and product, continuously improve your strategy, etc., etc. Step 4, customer engagement. Look for run promos and campaigns. Always ask for feedback. That's a total conversation entirely. Feedback. build a community and keep the conversation ongoing. Like at SME Africa, we have an engaged community that we attain to give exclusive offers, give useful information. And my 12th slide says the aim of marketing is to know and understand the customer so well that the product or service fits them and sells itself. So I say to people, especially small business owners, that your aim for marketing is not actually to make a sale. The aim for your marketing is to actually create a tribe, people who can actually advocate for your product any day, anytime. And word of mouth is still a very powerful way to reach them. So I give you an instance. The fact that I find hair in my food in Sweet Sensation does not mean that I will stop going to Sweet Sensation. So I'm already a Sweet Sensationer already, right? I'll keep going. I will just remove the hair and keep eating my food. That's because I've become a part and parcel of the Sweet Sensation brand. I hope this was helpful. Thank you guys so much for listening. Over to you, Zainab.
Thank you very much, Charles. That was very, very educative and informative. I will just go very, very quickly into the very short presentation from Flutterwave, and then we'll just take questions right afterwards. Okay, so very quickly, good morning, everyone. I hope you can all hear me. I'll just run us quickly through what Flutterwave has been doing this past couple of weeks as a sort of response to what's been happening. Of course, we all know what's going on around us and that we're in a crisis situation. There's a pandemic where we've all found ourselves, and some businesses have had to shut down. Yes, the restrictions have been slightly lifted at this time, but a lot of businesses have been hit by this. A lot of them are still trying to recover. So what has Flutterwave as an organization been doing to sort of support business owners through this period? I'll just talk us very, very quickly through 3 of the major things which we're currently doing as an organization, just to ensure that businesses are able to continue during this crisis period, right? So one of those things is this Grow My Business webinar, which is a weekly event we host with industry experts such as Charles, who's just spoken in details on how to identify your target market. If you've been following us, just like Yewande said, we've been doing this for the past couple of weeks. This is actually the 6th edition. So what we do is we get business owners together, we get you to tune in, listen to these experts, listen to their views, and hopefully you're able to get 1 or 2 beneficial tips from them to apply to your business to be sure that you're able to scale during this period. Even though you've had to shut down, I understand that not all businesses have opened. Some are still operating skeletally. So whatever situation you find yourself in, these webinars have been put together by Flutterwave to ensure that you're able to scale through this period, and then when the COVID pandemic is finally over, you're still able to carry on business as usual. So that's the Grow My Business webinar. We'll have it every week, and then after the webinar, we'll also share links to resources that would be useful to you. So the link to this webinar video will be shared right after the webinar. Also, resources from Charles, that's SME 100 Africa. He mentioned a couple of things which his organization is doing. So those links to those resources will also be included in the email which we'll be sending afterwards to you, just to ensure that you're properly equipped to grow your business, just like the name says. In addition to that, we've partnered with Google to list all business owners on Google My Business. So Google My Business is basically a Google tool that allows visibility of your business whenever there's a Google search done. Just to give an example of how it works, if you own a supermarket in Lekki Phase 1, for example, and you register on Google My Business, now someone who is just new in the area, doesn't know where to go to buy some essential items, say toothpaste, for example, and the person just goes to Google and types in, where can I get toothpaste in Lekki Phase 1? Now, if you're on Google My Business and you've listed toothpaste as some of the services you provide, your business name will be among the first list of businesses that would be displayed on that Google search. So basically, it's just a way of ensuring there's visibility for your business. And that's why we've partnered with Google to list all active and verified Flutterwave business owners on Google My Business for free. So if you're listed on Google My Business, I know most of you know how that works, and they do a search. If they put in your actual business name, for example, then details about your business will be displayed. So the customer or the person doing the search would see things like your location, your address, your phone number, your work hours. You're even able to put up some pictures, some posts, and all of that. Now, if you're not listed on Google My Business, all those details would not be displayed. If I just go and search for your business name, I might not even find the business name at all. So if you're listed on Google My Business, which is a partnership that Flutterwave has in conjunction with Google, then your business details are displayed. So what is this doing really? This is just a way to drive visibility for all of our merchants, all our business owners, to ensure that even though, there's a lot of uncertainty around and all of that, people are still able to see your business, able to identify your business and the kind of services that you provide. So that's another initiative that we've come up with. And I think also after this webinar, we'll also include a link if you want your business to be registered on Google My Business, then you just opt in. So the third, and I don't say final one, but the third one is a new product we launched recently. It's called Flutterwave Store. Now, what does Flutterwave Store do? Basically, it just allows you to take your business online and start selling. So I don't know if we all heard about Primark. Primark is that huge UK store where you go and you buy items at very, very cheap prices. On average, they do about £650 million in a month. But because of the lockdown, they had to close all their shops on March 22nd. So between March 22nd till now, they've not been able to reopen, and they don't have a website. So they've made zero sales. I mean, this is a company going from £650 million monthly in sales to having zero sales, and all because they don't have an online presence. They don't sell online, so their reason before now was that that's not part of their strategy. But I can assure you, now that they've seen what's going on, they've definitely had to have a rethink of that strategy. Everybody needs to have an online presence. Everybody needs to be able to sell online. Believe it or not, there's some businesses that even though their physical locations were shut down this lockdown period, they were still selling comfortably with no issues. And that's because they had an online presence. So what is Flutterwave Store all about? It's basically just allowing you list your inventory, even put pictures of the items that you have online on a secure platform, and then you're able to send that link to anybody. Once anybody clicks on that link, then they see the listing of all the products that you have in addition to the images, and then they're able to click on it and make a payment, and then it's delivered to them directly. So the beauty about this solution as well is that it comes with delivery integrated. What that means is we would have delivery partners that we're working with already integrate their own solution to that. So what that means, for example, if I want to give a typical example of Dikechim Superstores, for example, he sells household items, a supermarket, right? And he has an online Flutterwave store. So somebody goes to his link, the person clicks on the Dikechim Superstores link, and then they see the list of all the things they want to buy. So assuming they select the first item there, which is Indomie noodles for 3,200. Now, at the point of checkout, I get to put in, so the customer gets to put in all of this information. So name, address, phone number, delivery details, city, state, and all that. Now at the back end, there's an algorithm that calculates based on the weight and the location, how much that delivery fee would cost. So at the point of checkout, what I would see is instead of 3,200, I'll probably see 4,200, meaning 1,000 Naira delivery fee has been included, right? So once I make a payment, of course, I get a notification. That's myself as the cardholder making the payment. I get a notification that my transaction has been successful. The store owner also gets a notification that his transaction has been successful, as well as the delivery company. They get a notification that there is an order awaiting them to pick up from XYZ, Dikechim Store's address. So how it works is typically Dikechim Stores, once he gets that notification, each order comes with a unique order number. So he clicks on that order number, and then he sees the details of what the person has made payment for. So he just typically puts all that together. And when the delivery company comes, the delivery company picks it up and then does that delivery. All that is happening online. There's no need for any physical interaction whatsoever, which is in line with, our current reality, where you need to, as much as possible, limit physical interaction. It's all about social distancing now. So this is the perfect solution for every business owner to have. And the beauty is that it's absolutely free. You don't need to have anything to come on board this platform. All you need to do is register on Flutterwave. And once you do that, you just create your store, and you're able to send your store link, which is more or less like your website, to anyone. So you can put that link on your Instagram page, you can put it on Twitter, you can put it on WhatsApp and send that as a blast to all your customers. Let them know that they can now buy from you online using this link. And that's basically how it works. So it's called the Flutterwave Store. We launched that recently, I think last week. And so far the response has been great. A lot of customers have signed up on Flutterwave stores and are already transacting. Now, I just want to show us a very short video on what the Flutterwave store looks like and how to set up your store. It's actually very simple, very easy. You can do it in less than 5 minutes, really. So don't take my word for it. Just watch this very short video to show you how to set up your store and what the Flutterwave store can do for you. Right, so I'll just go ahead and play this now. It's a very short video. Okay.
Hi guys, my name is Ted, and I am a product designer at Flutterwave. I want to walk you through what we've been building for the past couple of days.
Welcome to my dashboard. I'm going to walk us through 2 processes. The first process is how to set up your store and add products to the store. The second process will be how your customers will pay you and use your store. So I'm going to click on the store. By default, you have no products or store. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my own store now. My business name is my store name by default. I'm going to go and change mine to something else. I'm going to go with drinks and let's see, fun. You notice that I updated my store URL to reflect my store name. I am going to leave my store offline because I want to add products to my store before I take it live. I have successfully created my store. I now have my store name and my store URL. My URL is what I'm going to share with my customers for them to be able to make payments. And as you can see, my store is currently offline. You can only have one store on your Flutterwave account. I'm going to go ahead and add just one product. It's good to know that you can have more than one product. I'm going to go ahead and call this Tiger Nut Milk. Tiger Nut Milk goes for about 1,000 naira right now. Milk that's made from tiger nut. I'm just going to go with 0.38 and I have 10 items in stock. Remember, you can have as many products as you want on your store, but for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to go ahead with one product. Next step is to take my store online. Now my store is online. I am going to proceed to the customer page, which is basically your storefront. As you can see here, Drinks and Fun has
the name of my store. Floataway Store Demo is the name of my account. We have here the description of my store. As you can see, tiger nut milk. Again, you can have as many items as you want. I'm going to go ahead and add 2 bottles of tiger nut milk. Click on pay. I'm going to go ahead and refill this. My email address will be, now we have a lot of payment options. You can give your customers a lot of payment options.
Okay, so that's it in summary. Like I said, to set up your Flutterwave store is pretty simple, straightforward, and takes less than 5 minutes. You're done. And this is just a sample of what the Flutterwave store looks like. So this customer has set up quite a lot of products, and she can just go ahead and send the link to her store to customers. Like I said, you can also include images. So if she sends this link to her customers, they can scroll down for the item they're looking for, or they can just come here and search for the item, and then they click on it and they're able to make a purchase. That's for those that have like a long list of products. So that search option is also available. You click on it and then it shows you details of what you're trying to buy, and you can make payment. Just like the video showed us, you have multiple payment options. So you can pay using your card, you can pay using bank transfer, whatever payment option is convenient for you. Flutterwave has that available. So yes, I think that's it in summary. And I guess we can take your questions now. Thank you, everyone.
Hi, everybody. I'm back. So we're going to go through the questions in our Q&A section. First question I think that we should address is everyone that has been asking, yes, we're sending this out, including the helpful links from Charles. Charles is going to send them to us and we'll send them to you. We're also sharing the link on how to set up a Flutterwave store video, the one that Zainab just played, and also the recording of this webinar as well, so you can refer back to it, seeing as some people have internet issues, I see. Okay, another thing is someone just made a comment to me privately that everything that Charles shared as well, and some of the solutions that Zainab has shared from Flutterwave can also be applied to a personal brand. So I know that we're talking from a small, medium business perspective, but if you think about it from a personal brand perspective, maybe you're a creative, maybe you are an actor or something, it definitely can, or you can also think about these things regarding in that way. So I'm going to go straight into the questions. Someone has asked, do you upload pictures of the products on the Flutterwave store? Yes, you do. Flutterwave store supports uploading pictures of your products to Flutterwave store. Right. First question. How do you patent? I think, Charles, this may be best for you. How do you patent your business idea in Nigeria? What can you do to ensure that when you share your ideas with venture capitalists, it's not taken away from you as you don't have the funds to grow your business? Is this something that you would want to answer, Charles?
Yes, so you're asking a question about patent, right?
Yeah, someone wanted to know how to patent their business idea so that it's not taken away from them when they share their ideas with venture capitalists.
Okay, so I said this thing about, a couple of people ask this question every now and then, and they're like, oh, how do I patent my idea? But I need you to understand something, right? Ideas are a dime a dozen, right? The fact that you're thinking about something doesn't mean that it is unique to you. I know there have been times where I've thought about something and then I just wrote it down with my notepad, and I was just driving down the street one day and I'm like, oh, this is my idea, and then I go to my house and I'm like, oh, my notepad is still here. So nobody stole the idea, right? But you need to know something. The fact that that idea has come to you also means that, okay, it's other people are thinking about it, because of course there are people that are thinking. But that's not to say that some things are not unique to you. And I understand that, you know, what will be unique to you basically will be things like your execution and some of your trade secrets. Now, so when you're faced with opportunities where you need to pitch, you know, sometimes you can just offer them like a non-disclosure agreement to have them sign. Other times you can just say that, you know, you like this amount of persons to, you know, just let them know that it's actually confidential. And but for patent, of course, you can patent your idea at there's the idea. If you contact us after this, we can help you with registering your patent and trademark for your idea. But I need you to understand one important thing: the fact that you trademark an idea is just the name, right? The execution is what matters. So I say to young people, don't be afraid to go and pitch, because especially right now, a lot of people are looking for money. Money is going to be gold. So every way that you can look out for money, if it's a pitch competition, venture capitalists, wherever you see money, go after the money, right? Because you need money for expansion, you need money to grow, you need money to scale. But in as much as you're pitching, don't pitch your trade secrets and be very minimal on your execution, right? Go there, pitch, get the money. And then I say to people, there are different business models, right? Don't pitch your business model in detail. You have the idea, the execution is unique to you, how you want to achieve it is unique to you, but the ideas can be very similar. You know, there are different very similar businesses, makeup businesses, logistic businesses, but I think that what differentiates one business from the other are two more important things, you know, the market and the execution.
Thank you very much, Charles. So another question for you is, what if my target market is actually the high end because I sell luxury products, but then I now decide to start selling some other products at lower prices to cut across financial capacities? Is this a bad idea?
So I understand that, you know, right now, a couple of people are actually rethinking some of the strategies, and it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea, right? Especially because the demographics somehow are similar, only that their income band is different. And I know back in the day, when Apple launched the iPod, in as much as they launched the iPod, they launched the Nano to actually fight the Walkman brand. And we can also see that, what's it called? Payment TV, DSTV. They have that premium brand, which is the DSTV, but they also have a fighter brand. I'm so sorry, another call tried to come. So I know DSTV has the DSTV premium brand. They also have their fighter brand, which is to fight, which is Go TV, right? So you can actually get different other market segments within one market, right? But you are talking to the same people. So for Mercedes now, there's the Mercedes S-Class, there's the Mercedes E-Class, there's the C-Class, there's the B-Class. All of these are still Mercedes products, right? But they are targeted at different kind of persons, right? So I might not be the S-Class target. I might be like the E-Class target because I'm a business executive, right? So you need to just understand where it is who it is that you want to talk to in that luxury market. And in some cases, you actually need to make a fighter brand. So a fighter brand means it's like a Go TV. A Go TV is a fighter brand of DSTV, which is actually set up to fight the regular terrestrial local TVs, you know, and also like the iPod Nano was a fighter brand to fight Walkman and Dixman back in the day. So you can actually even create a fighter brand. It's okay to create a fighter brand, but let it be that it's a fighter brand, you know, and then the communication for the fighter brand should be different from the communication for the main luxury brand. Like even in DSTV, they have different brand ambassadors. I think Daddy Shoki is the brand ambassador for Go TV because they want it to be mass, you know, and they have different ambassador. I think the Big Brother Mike guy is the ambassador for the DSTV. So you actually need to understand that it's okay to set up a fighter brand, but you need to understand that the lingua might be different in setting up a fighter brand and in maintaining your luxury brand.
Okay, thank you very much, Charles. I hope that answers your question. Okay, this question is a little bit tough, but we'll address it. It's not tough. It's just interesting. someone is asking, how do you market for goods like sex toys, where most social media platforms do not accept sex toys campaigns, and most people are shy of talking about it?
So I tell you this, a few years ago, I was the COO for a company called Red Media Africa. They're the guys who do the Future Awards, Y Ninja, Statecraft. And because I was COO, I was able to see the kind of stories that sell for Y Ninja. And I tell you, there are two stories that shocked me. Sex sells, right? And number two, Odd World. I don't know why Odd World sells in this country, but it just shows the kind of people we are. Odd World means all those stories that you see, a man sleeps with a monkey and gives birth to humans. A woman, those kind of stories are very funny stories. But what shocked me was at the back end, we saw that those stories actually were selling. So for sex, what you can do, because it's a unique market, right? Everybody is trying to be private with their sexuality, you know. And even the people who visited you and bought a dildo today or bought a handcuff do not want you to put their pictures out there. They don't want to give you testimonials, right? That they patronized you. It's like a thief in the night. They always want to come to you in the night, buy what they need, and go and satisfy themselves. Now, what you can actually do is what I said before, is that smart people have smart friends, rich people have rich friends, birds of a feather flock together. Those people who are buying sex toys actually have friends who actually need the sex toys. So when they use the sex toys, one of the things, I'm so sorry, a lot of calls are trying to come in now. So what you can do is let them give you referrals of their friends. And you know, a very fantastic platform is the Flutterwave store. I hope that Flutterwave can actually even list some of the products and give you a link. So you can actually list your products on the Flutterwave store, and, you know, excluding the fact that they're selling these products, they're also going to be selling convenient because there's a logistic part tied to the end. So people can now just, at the comfort of their homes, order dildos and handcuffs and whips, and Flutterwave can deliver it to your house. Thank God for Flutterwave and the Flutterwave store.
Yes.
Sorry, Wendy. So I wanted to help with that question. Hi, Charles. Hi, Zainab.
Hi.
So, people need to understand that I don't think people are very shy about sex, especially on Twitter. People talk about sex almost every time on Twitter. If you wanted to sell a sex toy, I think content marketing is the way to go. So, for instance, if a post came out on Twitter and said, top 5 styles Nigerian women like, it's almost going to go viral because people want to see it. They want to hear what it's about. Sometimes it won't always be extremely factual. You might come up with your data based on 3 people or 5 people or 5 most bought sex toys in Nigeria, you know. But the point is to release content that has a bit of shock value, but a bit of education as well. So people are always online thinking about how they can enhance their performance. So what if you said 3 secrets for lasting longer in bed, for instance, for free? People pay for ebooks like that, and now you release that for free. People are going to keep. They may not comment, right? Even if they comment, they might use anonymous or something, but they will read it. You will be surprised at the start. So I think that things like sex is actually very good business, and you should just explore content marketing. Just talk about it. People will listen. They are reading. Don't worry. They may not click like on Instagram, but they know your page. They save this somewhere. They come to it regularly to check.
Yeah, I think definitely.
I agree.
Go the content
I agree.
route.
And like I said before, I've actually worked in an organization that actually I could see the back end, and I know that people are reading that thing. They are reading it. So keep putting out the information, and so when you put out the content, make sure that it's not just, you don't just reference your store. You actually, like the Kachim said, put out some insights, education, entertain them, and they'll come to you.
Yeah, definitely. I think also in considering your digital ads, you may want to take it from a from an educational perspective as opposed to just a content and sales perspective. I think that you may get more success with digital ads if you're taking from an educational perspective, because then it's a little bit different. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next question. Dikachim, I think you can answer this question. Flutterwave store doesn't have sizing options for those of us in selling products in different sizes. Can you answer the question?
Okay, so we don't have that yet, because at the end of the day, Flutterwave store wasn't designed to be a full-blown e-commerce store, at least not yet. It's designed to be very simple, very straight to the point, and to help people. So what we've seen people do with the sizing option is that if they have, say, a size small, medium, and large, they post it as 3 different products, and in the description explain this is white t-shirt size small, this is white t-shirt size medium, and that way people know, what they are buying. So that's a very good workaround for it. We're definitely looking into the feedback about sizes. We've heard our feedback before. So the product team is looking into it. It's something that we might have sometime soon.
Okay.
But this is a workaround for now.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. I have a few questions asking about images. Yes, Flutterwave store allows you to upload product images. That is something that can be done. And for everyone that is asking again, presentation slides are definitely going to be sent out to everyone. Okay. I think this question may be for you, Charles. I'm not entirely sure. Someone is asking if you offer a mentoring program or one-on-one session.
Oh yes, so we one of the things that I said we set out to do is to make sure that small businesses succeed no matter your socioeconomic background. So we actually offer mentoring sessions, we offer one-on-one sessions. All you need to do is just join our community, and one of our community managers will guide you. So we can do that for you.
Okay, great, thank you. I'm trying to see. Someone is asking, where do you find clients if you are a new company? I think that information was on Charles's presentation, right? It's like social media, doing ads and stuff. I think that's definitely a start where, I don't know, Charles, do you want to shed some more?
Okay, so for finding clients, I actually even say to people that, in as much as people explore social media marketing, content marketing, email marketing, digital marketing. Also, your first clients can actually come from family and friends. So one of the things that you want to do is explore people who are close to you first of all. So if you make cakes, or you do makeup, some of the things that you want to do is reach out to your network in terms of people who you went to school with, your network in terms of your church, and all of us as humans are social animals, right? So for instance, I have guys who I play soccer with. I have guys I have people from church. I have people from my house. I have people from school. So I mean, when I was growing up, I even had different names, So if you call me a certain name, I know where you know me from. Either you know me before I entered secondary school, or you know me from church. So that just shows that we have different other people. So one very, very good way is to actually explore people who are close who are close to us from our network. So if you're a makeup artist, try and make up your mom. Your mom can refer her friend. Try and make up your friend. Your friend can refer their friend. And then they can refer even more friends, and those more friends can refer more friends, and then post content on social media, take good pictures and videos and post on social media. And one very, very good thing that I know that has worked on social media for some of my clients or some of the members of our community is testimonials, right? So if you actually do a good job, try and post testimonials, and it also helps with small businesses. When they send us in our community, when they send us their site map, they actually even try to scrap that about us. A couple of people, if you go to their website, you see about us. We have been in business since 1918. We've been here, we are. Nobody cares about that. Instead of about us, you can try and put some testimonials there. People who have used your product, how you help them save money, how you help them save time, how it was convenient. All of those kind of things can help you get with us.
Okay, thank you so much. I think I'm gonna take 2 more questions, and then we're kind of 20 minutes over time, so we'll take 2 more questions,
Wow.
and then
I'm so sorry for
No, it's fine. I think that people are very engaged, as we can see. They're asking questions, so this is great. This question is for Dikachim. How can digital downloadable products be sold on Flutterwave, such as ebooks?
Okay. We are actually working on a module for digital products, but for now, a simple way of doing it is just list it as a product as well, and then when somebody pays you, since it's a digital product, you just send them the download link. What we're working on is a situation where if you upload the digital product, you're able to upload the link for the download, so that when the person buys, the receipts they receive contains their download straight. You know, that's a more automated system. But for now, the workaround is list the products. We always inform you when somebody buys. You get an email immediately. So as soon as you get the email, you can just email the product to the person at the time.
Okay.
Please, I have a book that I want to release, Dikachim. So can I bring it to Flutterwave? Flutterwave
Yeah.
help me launch it.
Sure.
So exclusively on Flutterwave, it won't be anywhere else.
That's what we like.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and then I can offer discounts. So if the book is being sold outside on hard copy for 5,000 or other platforms for 5,000, on Flutterwave will be sold for just 3,500, and just for Flutterwave customers. Please, will you help me to promote the book?
Sure. I would love to.
Okay, so also in response to this question, I think that also please, those going on Flutterwave, I think that your prices, you should actually try to put your best prices forward, because if you actually have products that are like 50K and then you can give it as a discount, better list the discount product on the Flutterwave, because it will help to, I think it will, in my experience, I think it will help to get you more sales. So if you're selling like a loaf of bread, you can actually go down, list the discounted price on the Flutterwave store so that you can get a lot of sales.
Thank you. So this last question is for you, and I think that while this is specific to this person's business, you can speak about it from like a general perspective. So we know that there's a lot of sectors that are affected by the pandemic, one of them being travel services. So someone is asking, how do you sell multinational services like travel services in these times where planes are grounded? I don't know if you would like to answer.
Okay, so someone asked me this, and I think that those guys are the reality. Those guys actually even need a lot of bailout. Like Virgin Atlantic is crying to their government, and all those other guys are saying they need government bailout. And it is not news. Like Warren Buffett has sold all the shares in majorly the airlines where he has shares in, because he thinks that the travel industry will take a while to recover, especially the airlines. Now, what you need to do as a small business owner, either as a travel agent or as in that sector generally, 2 things. One is I advise that you try to look for another source of income so that you can actually try and rev your business engines. But my advice basically, right, is these 3 things. First of all, you need to actually look at the money that you have in your business that can last you for like another 6 months, because I think that this will actually even go this actually won't happen it will go on for a while. But you actually start having to look at trends and look at your mentors and what they are saying. Now, for instance, if you're in the travel industry, I was reading a travel report from Forbes, and Forbes is saying that many people who are high net worth individuals who are going to be traveling are going to start traveling with private jets. So those who can afford it will now be looking for private travel. So one of the things that you can start to do is position yourself as a broker for private jet companies and say, hey guys, I want to actually even get you new clients to help you, become a broker for private jet companies. There are a few. There's AnapJet, there's ExecuJet, and all these guys can actually even, I think some of them are even flying based on the based on the permission that they get from the government. So that's one. Try and report and reposition your business. Like I said, the Forbes one, many people who can actually afford business class and first class will now also be looking for private travel because they think that, it's health conscious and there's the risk of the spread of coronavirus. Now that's one. Two, in terms of looking for alternatives, that's looking at your business model. In terms of looking at alternative sources of income, try and do other things that you can do. Like right now, I'm going to release a book based on the Kachim's approval and Zainab and Yewande, just so that I can earn extra income, so that I can actually even get some money. So I know right now that the banks are actually, I know someone who was in the event and rental space. I know that the banks right now are actually open, and if you go to the bank, there's always a canopy in front of every bank, so for people to sit down and wait for their turn. So I know somebody who has actually gotten the contract for all the eco banks on the island, So you try and look for those kind of opportunities. Some opportunities will come in here and there, but for those in travel, I say look out for how you can get sources of income. Look out for how much you have right now that can sustain you for another 6 months. But in the meantime, engage your most experienced people, because by the time that this lockdown is lifted, a lot of backlog of events, a lot of backlog of travel that were suspended will start happening fast. And then you want to be on top of that so that you can get that money before we now acclimatize to the reality of things, which is the way our lives will change after the pandemic. So two things. Try and look at your business model to see how you can get other sources of, how you can adjust for the reality that we're in, and try and look at how you can earn some extra income, especially in this time that we're in right now. But those who are looking to market to international organizations, it's tough. The reality is that it's tough. It is tough. It is tough for the travel. The travel took a big hit on this one. I read an email from Airbnb. The CEO had to lay off 25% of their workforce because they understand that even when things come back to normal, that whole travel space will be a different thing entirely.
Okay, thank you so much, Charles, and thank you, everybody. Unfortunately, we are 30 minutes over time, so we're not able to go into much detail from the questions, but like I said before, Charles is going to send us some links, and
yes.
so we're sharing your deck and your presentation with our attendees, right? So we're going to send this to you by Wednesday at the latest, but we're going to get everything and we're going to send an email. If you don't receive an email by Wednesday, please feel free to email us, hi@flutterwavego.com, to keep us honest. You can just send us an email to check in. Hi, I haven't received the information that you said you were going to share with us. Thank you so much, Charles, for joining us. Thank you, Zainab. Thank you, Jim. Thanks, everyone.
So just put my email address, so anyone who wants to reach out can still reach out, and I put my WhatsApp as well, my Instagram as well.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You can check the chat function. I'm going to leave it for like maybe 5 minutes after we are done, and so that you guys can write down his email address and his Instagram. Thank you so much, everyone. See you next week.